Hi everyone! In this video, we are going to understand all the materials and resources required to draw a mandala. So, I will be beginning with the basic materials that are easily available at home or in a stationery shop. Then I will advance to a bit more complex materials which are a little difficult to find and difficult for everyone to work with. And then we advance to the types of pens that are used to draw mandalas. To begin with, we start with the very basic materials which are available with everyone. So the first is a good sharpened pencil. It should be not too dark, not too light, just the right shade. Next, we move on is a simple eraser. A non-dust eraser would also work just fine. Then we move on to a sharpener just in case our pencil breaks during working or anything as such, so we can sharpen our pencils again. And next is the ruler or the scale. So you can also use the smaller scales which are available, but we could always preferably use the longer ones so that we can work with proper efficiency. Moving on to the advanced materials which are not easy for everyone to work with is a circular compass. This compass which I am using is from the brand Maped. This works best for all the beginners who are new to this art form. Then we will use a small pencil. This usually comes in with the compass itself. So we have to make sure that the pencil's height is smaller than the compass. This pencil again should be very well sharpened. Next we move on. This is called as the protractor. A lot of y'all might have used this in school. This is actually the engineer's protractor. This is used by all the architects and engineers while they work. This particular protractor is not easily available in a stationery. So instead of this, we can always use this particular protractor. This would do the job just fine as an engineer's protractor would do. Moving on to different types of pens that we use to create this artwork. Now here I will be showing you two pens which could be used for the beginner or the intermediate level, and the other set of pens which could be used for professionals and the ones who want to practice mandala at an advanced stage. So moving on, I will be beginning with moving on to the swatches. I will show you guys how thin the pens are and how thick they range to, so that we can understand the thickness that varies and how we can create different designs. So the first one is 0.05. This is how thin the pens can go. We move on to the next pen, which is 0.1. They don't have a lot of difference, but yes, while drawing designs, they do make a lot of difference. Next we move on is 0.2. Again, this is a little thick. The pen responds to the pressure we put while drawing. The next is 0.3. Then we move on to 0.4. Now you can see the thickness is starting to vary drastically. Next up is 0.5. These thicker pens are used to create larger designs. Next up is 0.6. Then the thickest that we have is 0.8. And the last pen, which is the brush pen, this pen is used to fill color between big designs so that you do not use up the ink of your technical pens or your professional fine liners, and they do not run out of ink. Now this right here, we have the Sakura Micron. These pens are a little on the costlier side, but the quality is top notch. We can use these pens to create designs and all sorts of mandalas. So to begin with, we are using the 0.05 nib. As you can see, the nib is barely even visible. we are going to swatch this and see how thin this is. So the reason that this pen did not show up well on paper is the pressure that I put on it. I put very less pressure. That is the reason the pen did not show up. As I said before, these pens respond to the pressure you put on them. Next up, we are moving to 0.1. You can see the quality, the color is much better than the pens we used before. The next up is 0.2. Here the thickness will also vary very less. Next up is 0.3. Then we have 0.5 and then 0.8. You can invest in these pens if you are willing to take up mandala as a profession. These pens are easily available on Amazon. Coming to the very important part of our artwork is the surface that we are going to use to draw a mandala. So today I am using the Scholar sketchbook. As you can see, the specifications of this sketchbook are 170 GSM acid-free paper. Now what do we mean by 170 GSM? 170 GSM indicates the thickness of the paper. So any paper above 120 GSM is fine to draw a mandala on. So we have to always make sure that the paper is acid free so that our pens do not fray away while drawing the mandala.